Hey, I got the message to help share a message, and I have attempted to do this a few times, and each time I tune into so much of something in the collective. It's like this global kind of melancholy. It's so strange. And the card that I just pulled before in the reading that did not make it, which was basically 2 cards, and it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel okay. So I took a break and I started again. And the energy got even more intense. This feeling, this message really wants to come through. And it feels like that moment before, in the movies when that person's in the airport and one of them is about to leave and they're like, oh, I've given up on everything. I'm just going to head on out. Move on with my life. Do whatever. Just get on that plane and go to, eat, pray, love. Go to India and just kind of go to Italy and eat your way across Europe. And then right before the person gets on the airplane, the love of their life shows up right behind them. And the way it feels, it's that moment where instead of the person getting in the airplane and leaving, and it's that bittersweet kind of, the story's not finished thing, they actually talk and meet. Like they turn around. That's what all this feels like today. So I don't know if something in your life, this is the second time, third time actually, that this card has either stopped the deck or just peeked out every time. The Singer of Connection. Adelina on her channel has a very beautiful way of looking at this card. Her channel is called Mana, M-A-N-N-A, and she's amazing, and she's amazing. She's taught me a lot about this through every one of her videos with the Fairy Oracle. And her interpretation of this, and also a similar, kind of in the book, this about connections, and hers is reminiscent to the Six of Cups. But right now, this to me looks like 2 birds. Like one's flying up, one's flying down. And the only birds I know of that really are when birds dance together like that. It's like a mating ritual. So maybe you're about to connect with somebody that's going to make you feel like you're dancing through. Like the connection isn't even physical, it's just seamless and flowing. It's gotten out of the lower spectrum of things. It's out of the physical. It's become more of a spiritual connection with someone, where a lot of truth is involved. And look. Oh, sorry. You're in a card box on top of you're on top of a pile of books and stuff. So, look, if you look at this part right here, it kind of looks like you're in the valley looking across a bunch of trees that are growing and blowing in the wind. And in between that, there's like 2 elementals connecting in between with each other with their hands reaching out to each other. This deck, when I got it, I don't even know when it was gifted to me. a long time ago. And I had rarely used it for anybody else. It was just my kind of thing, like, oh, I'm just going to be by myself and read my own fairy cards, you know, my own little random interpretations and stuff. And each card has grown into its own encyclopedia now. And seeing Adelina use them and some other YouTubers, it's amazing how much you can combine these. Like, the messages that come out of these cards. And it's not just the cards, it's, I don't know, it works really well. And I just realized I'm not talking about the cards, I'm talking about the connection between you and this person. You work really well together. Like dolphins jumping in and out of the ocean, making splashy waves. And I'm really just doing this reading on a whim. I put the cloth out and I'm like, okay, let's just read. Topsy-turvets. The number is 51 on the topsy-turvets, which is also a 6. So you got double 6s. And the Master Alchemist, which is a 9. I love in the book, it says that one of the gnomes wants to get to the bottom of what she's up to. Like, if you get to the bottom of things, you know, she helps you do that. And I find it funny because, like, they're a little tushy. I should read you stuff from the book one of these days. This one in the Isis Oracle has really good stories in there for each card. Whatever this connection you had with this person that worked like at first the Titanic and then the Titanic and the iceberg, there has been some universal force of, how do I word this to you? It's not turning something into gold. It's not threads being pulled on your behalf. It's almost like the disaster is why, oh, ruin is the road to transformation. That's the line from Eat, Pray, Love when she's sitting in the ruins in Italy. Yep, that's what this is. You and this person had a massive connection, a massive disruption, and then everything, including things you thought were unchangeable, got flipped around on you. Black became white, white became black, boy, girl, girl, boy. It all changed. Everything became the other. And now they're being turned back. Because between the 7 is 9, which is, you're done with that. You learn the lesson. And look down here. This guy, little dude right here. He's looking at what she's doing, like the result of what she's done. And look at her booty. Well, Iris of the Rainbow. Yeah, some really dark part of your life just finished up. And you got through it. You got through it as gracefully as you could. So whatever you're telling yourself, just remember, be very earthy, very honest, and very authentic about how you communicate. Because the light that makes that rainbow is pure light. These other things are what refracted into the rainbow. So be the pure light and let all your good choices, your decisions, your actions, the world and the aesthetic, the filter you've placed for yourself, let that be the mask you wear. You know how people wear masks? Like, you don't even realize you're wearing a mask, but you really are sometimes. If everything about you is purely authentic and honest and open and grounded and simple, elegant and graceful, you don't really need to have a lot of other stuff, do you? Because when somebody comes see you for exactly who you are, and it'll help them fall in love with you. It'll help them see all the different versions of who you are. These little guys all have different flower hats, and they're all unique. And that one's clutching that little bubble. Like, you're not going to take it. There's plenty of bubbles. Whatever you're afraid of having taken from you, just... it's not going to be taken from you. What's yours is yours. And sometimes you really, really, really need things to be turned upside down and shaken up and things taken away. And isn't the sixth house in astrology, and excuse my ignorance on this, I'm really not too educated on astrology, but isn't the sixth house the house of losses? One of the things for it. So a connection that was lost has been chemically changed from the inside out. So some things come in as a catalyst to change the relationship, to help it have a new... Do you know how it feels to see a rainbow, especially when it's raining and thunderstorming, and then suddenly you see the cloud breaking and there's a rainbow? In the book, that's what this describes, like, the cloud breaking and the rainbow coming out of it. Connections, things being turned upside down, a chemical change that you can't unmake. You've learned this lesson and it's engraved in your soul. And then honesty, love, and joy, and that moment of peace again. I guess this card is also about new beginnings. Whoa. Singer of intuition. Every time I've gotten this card, I haven't ever really been able to the words that are used to describe it. Fairy who was kissed by the pixies on the bottom, by the way. The words that are used to describe it don't really, I don't know. I don't resonate with them. This card, to me, every time I've pulled it from my own personal readings, my life, it has shown me, the universe has shown me in some way or another, whenever I've seen this card, throughout the day, something happens where I guaranteed say, I knew that would happen. I knew it, like, of course this would happen. That's what happens every time I've had that card. Whether it's the best or the worst, it's that feeling of, yeah, I knew that would happen. Where the universe and everything, all the signs and synchronicities, everything gears up like a clock, and then it hits 2 o'clock, and you're like, oh, I know it's 2 o'clock. Well, kind of, yeah, because you already knew. Whatever it is, you already knew this about this relationship. You knew how important it is. You knew how... Here, this card down here. Oh, you can't see the deck. It's right here. I'm going to put it right there for now. You knew how important this relationship was to you. And the universe has really shown you repeatedly, like signs from heaven. And, you know, if you look at these as 2 planets in space, and they're coming together and they're sharing information. And what are those Birkeland currents called? Connecting them to each other. But every time I've had this, it's been some moment in life that's moved me forward. And its expression, its manifestation in my life has always been dependent completely on my frequency, to use an overused word. Like when you go and check the mail and you know something's you're expecting something, and part of you is like, nope, it's not going to be there, and then you go there and it's not there. It's that form of self-sabotaging intuition. Because if you turn the good intuition upside down on its head with the topsy-turvies, and you do it because of emotional stuff, you can start manifesting things for yourself that are completely self-sabotaging. So a relationship that was messed up, whatever connection this was, that was brought together and then back apart again, and then roles were switched, everything was switched to where the other person walked in the other person's shoes. People were changed, and drastically, and really, really changed. Like at a fundamental level, they were changed. A lot of things were revealed. A lot of emotions were shared. Because when it's thunderstorming, it's a lot of water. And two singers with an alchemist and Iris, it's kind of like this is inevitable for you. Whatever the singer of intuition is going to show you in the next few days, it's quite literally inevitable. I know you control your own reality and you manifest everything, but this is something you've already manifested that's coming. And the way you experience it is completely reliant on at what level you're vibrating at. Are you still being a victim? Are you still being self-conscious? Are you still dipping in poverty? Or are you ready, arms open, aura cleaned, and everything's okay, and you're welcoming something new into your life, something you're ready for, something that couldn't come to you before, because you had to go through this alchemical process. And now she's pointing at Iris. I didn't even realize I just did this. She's pointing at Iris with that wand, and this little dude is looking over here at her, and she's like, yeah, I know. You're going to meet someone very important this week that you already knew. 6, 6, 9, 5, 7. Interesting. Sorry, I just had a whole bunch of math go through my head, and that made my brain pretzel. Wow. I, for some reason, saw a lot of December. So maybe mark that in your calendar, and just in like the next December, look back on this reading for whatever reason. Or it could be February 12th. Hold on, please. Sorry about that. One of my neighbors came by to give me some Reese's Pieces and Russell Stover's candy. I'm totally serious. Okay, let me go get my pointy crystal thingy. Hold on. Oh no, where are you? Hold on, we got a problem. Found it. Okay. I apologize about all of these delays, but to you it's been instant. So, a connection that was absolutely, when you guys were aligned, it was perfect. When it wasn't, it felt like you guys, one of you was at the bottom of the valley while the other one's floating on top in their own little castle. And then boom, battleship sunk. Everything turned upside down. This became that, that became this. Now you know the story of yourself and you know the other person's story. And you both know you've manifested each other. Actually. The more I'm feeling through this, the more you both know. Because now one singer here, one singer there, in between is things turning upside down. Like reverse and reverse and reverse, and then the alchemist turning everything over. So it's kind of like you have something in a jar and you're just, you know, making something from it. Oh, sorry, you're out of focus. There you go. So we got that, and then you manifested this person a long time ago, probably over 9 years ago. This has been a cycle that has gone on because this doesn't feel simple. This doesn't look simple, and this reading hasn't been simple. I've had so many interruptions with this, so many things added on and removed and changed. New information added, new information taken out, from just not even the reading, like the people that have been coming up the door. There's been too many people involved in your love life. I'm telling you that right now. Each of them came by to get a little piece of something, a little piece of the story to make their own story better. How interesting, this planet is completely in the dark. And then this planet is coming by, sending this light beam down on top of there to break up the dark. And then she's over here with the rainbow. Like, cool, thanks. Here's what I'm going to do with all that light. I guess this is some kind of a moment of gnosis that changes you completely from the inside out and turns you and what you thought you knew around to reconnect you with someone else. Because topsy-turvy, bro, topsy-turvy, it's turning everything around. This is almost like the universe telling you that you belong with somebody and you're about to go back to them. This has nothing to do with work. There is no material here, no matter. This is nothing in the physical world. This is nothing in the, you know, the mineral world or any of that. This is in the ethers. It's in the space in between, because the 6 and the 7 in between the two is these things. You ever gone and given blood and seen the vial? Sorry, vial blood. Clean, beautiful blood. The jars they have that they spin the blood in to see what's inside and all of that. That's what this looks like. There's 2 cosmic doctors on either side making some alchemical change in something you thought was gone, messed with, you know, pointless, over with, blah blah blah. Anything else? Because I feel like I've gone on about this for quite a while. Of course. The Pook. Unity, sorry, stutterbug. It's the coming together of two opposites. That's literally what it is. And like it's written in the book. Paradoxes. The meeting of the black and the white and what comes in between. Oh wow, the spectrum of color, the wavelengths, the information coming down from these other places to the physical. Because this has been all in the other realms, now this is here to bring it back down into the physical world. 666, the number of carbon, matter, diamonds. How fascinating. Whatever happens for you guys, please, oh look, a fawn. And again, fairy who was kissed by the pixies. Whatever happens this week with this person that you thought was your enemy, but is actually your bestest friend. Because the fawn, like Adelina says, it's the best friend and ally. And this person you didn't think was your best friend and ally because at some point you thought they were your enemy. Okay, fairy who was kissed by the pixies, you can join. Thank you. Here you go. Sorry for being quiet. I'm just feeling my way through this. Because I can see it clearly. But I really... Something feels like there's something else to this. Because the fawn and the pixie just reiterate what I was saying. An ally, a friend, a lover that you thought a certain way of, and it got turned around to a... You were basically wrong about somebody. You judged someone and it was wrong, and it taught you how to not judge somebody, and then now you're a better person for it. And the Phoenix, of course. Can you see me shuffling? No, of course not. I might just redo this reading. This reading's been like so freaking specific on one thing. Like, I can even see the airport. It's just strange. And the reason I call this strange, it's because it's so clear. The message is so clear. Tell him the poet. Someone watching you and admiring you from far, the one like falling in love with you, ready to make the move. Here, let me show you this bottom of the deck. Lady of the Harvest, letting things go. Muckle is like immaturity or children. So somebody's letting go of the immaturity, becoming really mature and wise like the Empress, and ready to communicate with you. Would this be better? I think so. There you go. Oh, no you can't. Oh. I'm getting a thing. As soon as my card comes in the mail, I am getting a phone set up. Okay, I don't think I need to do any more or pull any more cards because this seems very, very, very bucket. Now, I'm assuming that you know a little bit about these cards. And I could be wrong on that, okay? So please forgive me. The Singer of Connection. Obvious. Like all the things you can think of, threads connecting you, the etheric threads and all of that. Alchemical change is occurring. The kind of changes where those moments in your life where you're different because of them. You can't go back to who you were because you knew this person. And this person that the separation occurred with, that changed your life while you were with them and away from them, is coming back into your life because you both manifested it with each other, because to each other, despite the 5, which is normally the number of chaos and some like just disorder and all the seeming clutter and all the people involved and everything, you yourself know that you both really are happy together. It may not be, all that comfortable, because transforming, transfiguration, unity between two people means a part of you has to change in order for you to be with someone. So who you were can't be who you are when you're with someone. You have to be who you truly are without the excess. So if you have some behavior that's just not benefiting anybody, like childishness or immaturity or just promiscuity or taking things for granted, letting things go, procrastination, and letting things go in the way where it's like you're not taking care of yourself. People are just taking from you and they're doing whatever, and you're like, I don't really care, just take it, more will come, because she's, abundant and all that. I mean, look at that. But at the same time, she just doesn't really want to hold on to any of it. And usually that's because somebody's been really hurt. And hurt people. So what's being let go of here is this immature sense of, just letting everything go, including what you want, but actually holding on to something. And taking care of yourself and adorning yourself and being kind and gentle to your skin and your body and everything. Treating yourself the way even the person you want to be with wouldn't ever reach like that standard of treating you. Be better than an empress to yourself. It really looks like you're going to come into union with someone this week. And it really is in the physical. This is all physical. This is physical. This is the unity of, physical and non-physical. This is the best friend, the guardian, the protector, If you're Sailor Moon, this is Tuxedo Mask. If you're Jean Grey, this is Cyclops. You know what I mean? Like, just because this card is here and this card is here. Normally, this is a lot of other variations of it. Like, you even can see a deer. It's kind of just your friend. Deer are the most gentle, graceful animals in the, ever. In the old house I used to have with my partner, we would have deer come into the front yard and just sit there and sleep in our front yard because we had really high bushes in the front of the house. So they found it safe and they would just come there and hide and sleep. They were the most kind animals ever. And they brought so much abundance to that land. They brought so much. Like, other animals would come. We started planting food for a lot of them, like herbs and berries and stuff. It was amazing. It was like waking up in a Disney Disney film every day. Like, let go of something. If you want to be with somebody, you have to let go of that which you don't really benefit from. You know how they say that which no longer serves you, release it? You already know. You already know. '18 is 9. You already know. I know it's hard to let go of an aspect of yourself. But if you want to be with somebody in a way where you're... Now, how do I put this to you? If you want to be an empress and you want to be with an emperor, that emperor has to let go of the page within him, the knight within him, the king within him. He has to evolve from that. So he has to go from, shining shoes to sitting on a planet as its throne. If you're wanting to be this empress and have your whatever fairy tale you want to have, you can't hold on to things about yourself that won't match with that frequency, that vibration, that way of life. You want to be a baker, you have to learn how to bake. You can't keep saying, I don't know how to bake. You want more money, you're going to have to stop being the person that says, I don't have any money. You want to be with a partner, you're going to have to stop being the person that is only authentic when they're by themselves. You're going to have to be authentic in front of other people. That's what I've been basically getting at with this, without really knowing it, I guess. But this card here is about communication and honest communication. And below that is unity. Below that is that old gnome, which that's just trouble in the most funny way. So I really am looking for the sophistication in the words to express to you that you need to have the inner strength this week to allow a piece of yourself to be forever changed, because it's for your best outcome. It's for your best life. And whatever this experience is that's going to completely change you, that's going to have you let go of a version of yourself that you thought you knew, and you're going to be someone different after this. Someone you already are on the inside, but more capable of showing that to others. It's really, really, really going to make you feel a sense of relief. Because whatever was going on in your life that caused the separation from the person that you had a really flowing relationship with, this person felt like home to you 24/7. No matter what you two did, this person and you, there was, even in your most terrible moments together, you were terribly beautiful together. Things needed to change. whatever this experience is this week, this airport moment of meeting somebody, you have to have the faith in yourself, the strength in yourself, be your own guardian, be your own best friend, be your own most positive inner critic this week, please. Because this is something you've manifested. Like you did this. Something is coming for you in the best way possible. Good things are coming to you. And it's a connection with somebody else. And this connection has the potential of lasting your entire lifetime. Let go of the fear of being happy. It's okay to be immature and happy and have fun with things once in a while. It is not okay to take things extremely seriously and be a bitch to yourself. That's not okay. Just because you know what you're doing, or just because you don't know what you're doing, doesn't mean that you need to be mean to yourself. It doesn't mean that you need to give up on things, and just because something really got turned upside down repeatedly, so many times that it was just too much to deal with, and you're like, forget it, this is too much. Give it a chance. Give it a chance. It may look different now. Really. Something has changed. The storm that showed up changed things drastically. The Pook is massive change of two opposites coming together. This is unchangeable change. Like whatever this is, you can't reverse it. This is now your new baseline personality, being, version, body, hair color, whatever. Because of this connection with this person, they bring out the authenticity in you 1,000%, which means you can't be fake around them anymore. You can't. The person you are when you're by yourself is the person you need to be when you're with this person. Because they see right through you. Really, look. So just be yourself. Hold on. Hey. Okay, we're back. That was my neighbor that came by, and she was talking to me about her boyfriend who, anyway, a situation with a significant other. And I saw how this reading immediately applied to that immediate situation that was brought right to my door. Wow, this has been a really, really interesting reading. So let's see if there's anything else, and then we'll finish this up. Yep, the lamb. This card is the card of unconditional love, unconditional giving, and unconditional receiving. It also reminds me of two people who do way too much for each other at the expense of their own well-being. But it's just who you are. Like everything that they're going through, they wouldn't have it any other way. It's their story. Like Pomon and Tumba, whatever his name was, in The Lion King, Tumba, I don't know. Like just those two. Every stereotypical thing you can say, but at the core of all of it, no matter how mean or kind you are to each other, you have each other's back all the time. It really is unconditional. There is nothing the other person can do to get the other one to be less important to them. Like, there's nothing, you're never going to be less than to this person. Ever. This is a really, really beautiful connection, whoever this is in your life. Let's put that right there. Okay, I think that's it. Because this is super cute. And I really, really, really want you to tell me how this plays out for you, in whichever way it plays out. This journey of some transformation and connection with someone that brings out the authenticity in you by revealing the inauthenticity first, and then bringing everything together in this complete Sailor Moon transformation of putting away the schoolgirl and becoming your, Sailor Scout self, and getting with Tuxedo Mask and going on your way. But going on your way with your crew. Oh, look. Cute.